Hi there, my name is Sam, and in this video we're building a discount pop-up like this, and we're going to create a pop-up to share more product information connected to the product meta field. Thanks to the all-new overlay feature, creating pop-ups like these is both easy and fast. So let's dive in. We're going to start with the discount pop-up. In the insert panel, under element and advanced, we can find the overlay and pop-up element. These two elements work in the exact same way when it comes to customizing them and triggering them to open. In this case, we're going to work with an overlay, so let's drag it in. And as soon as you're editing an overlay, you will see this blue bar appear at the top of the canvas, indicating that you're editing an overlay. Now let's customize this element right here. The first thing we're going to do is delete the inside spacing to 0 and 0. The reason for that is that I want this image to go all the way to the outer edges of this element, which we have just done. Then let's upload an image. The image layer selected. I've uploaded this image right here to Instant, so we can use it right here. Then for the part underneath, if we take a look at the layer panel, this bottom layer contains the headline, the subtext, and this button right here. For this layer, let's add some inside spacing because we've just deleted it on the main layer. So we're going to add 12 pixels to the left and right, open up the settings and add 24 pixels worth of inside spacing to the bottom. Now for this button, we're going to duplicate it, so we have two buttons. Then if the button is selected, you can see that there's spacing around active to the top of 8. Let's delete that to 0. And now let's focus on the text elements. First of all, it's aligned to the left. Let's change it to align to the center. And then this should say, you've got 10% off. Then for the font, we're going to work with the Roboto serif font, size 28, and there we have it. For the text underneath, align from the center, change the font to the correct font and to the right color, which should be black, and then this should say limited time offer only today. Now when we zoom in, you can also see that there's a border around this pop-up. So we select the main layer and let's quickly delete that. Indeed, there's a border, delete it, and I also want to add a different fill color, so let's quickly do that and select this brand color right here. Now we can focus our attention on these buttons. So we're first going to change the radius to 99 for nice round corners, delete the border and add a different fill color. In this case, it's this brown brand color. This should say save 10% off. The text should be white and the right font. There we go. And then for the button underneath, we're going to do somewhat the same. Delete the border, add a radius of 99, change the color to this brand color right here. And this should say no thanks with, of course, the right font, Roboto serif. Then for the top button, it is important that when people click on it, they will also be able to get a 10% discount on whatever they're buying. So right here within Shopify, I've created a discount code. Then under promote, you can get a shareable link. We copy this link and then back in Instant, we go to interactions and then we add a new click action, which is a go to link. And then we add the link we've just generated within Shopify. Now, when people click on this button, the 10% discount code will automatically be applied to whatever they're buying. Now, let's check out the responsiveness. On desktop, this looks good. And on mobile, this also looks perfect. Now, what is left to do is trigger this overlay. So let's select the main layer. And then on the right, we can trigger the overlay. We can trigger the overlay based on page load or on scroll. With on scroll, you will trigger the overlay based upon a offset in pixels. So after how many pixels a visitor scrolls down on your page, do you want this pop-up to open? And then on page load, you can delay it in terms of milliseconds. With repeat, you can show this overlay again when someone refreshes, which in this case, I want. So I'm going to set this to yes, and I'm going to delay the overlay opening to 3000 milliseconds, which is 3 seconds. We exit this editing overlay view, then we preview, and as you can see, after 3 seconds, the pop-up appears. And there we have it for the first pop-up. For the second pop-up we're going to build, I want a pop-up to slide in from the left when we click on this plus icon, and within this pop-up we share more product information, which is connected to a product meta field. So first of all, in this case, let's open the template library, go to elements, where you can see a wide variety of different overlays and pop-ups, and then we're going to select sidebar with ingredient details. It's added. By default, it is set to the right, so let's distribute it from the left. There we have it, and then we zoom in a little bit. The text above right here should say product information. Then we're going to delete this text element right here. Select the image, set the image height to fill, so it fills up all the space that is available. Then we're going to change the fill color of the entire sidebar. We do that right here, change this to black. There we go, and there's a border which we don't need in this case. Now, the text element is also not really visible, so let's change that back to white. And then for this image, I want to work with a Shopify product meta field image. To do that, I'm first going to connect this entire row or sidebar to the correct product, which is this product right here, the Velar Dream Couch. It's connected. Then I go back to the image, and now we can change the image source from static to Shopify. And then under image, we can find our meta field media, which in this case is more product information regarding the size of this couch. As you can see, the sidebar does not cover all the way up to the edges of this image right here. So we need to make it a little bit wider. When the main row of this sidebar is selected, we can see that there is a max width of 480 pixels. Now let's change that to 520 pixels, and then it covers up the image very nicely. Now let's check out the responsiveness. On the desktop viewport, this looks good. And then on mobile, this also looks good, but we need to change the sizing from fill to fit. By the way, let's also do that on the desktop viewport. There we have it. Now what's left to do is actually triggering this overlay from the button. So let's exit this editing view. Then we select this button right here, go to interactions, and then we can add a new click action, in this case triggering the overlay. We select the right overlay, which in this case is the sidebar. And now when we preview and click on this plus icon, the sidebar appears. But as you can see, the animation was not really smooth. So let's quickly change that. We select the overlay again, then the main layer that needs to appear. Under interactions and effects, you can see that there's an animation by default with this template. However, when we click on the animation, we can see that it slides from the left, but we want it to slide from the right, so it looks better when we click on the icon. So now it's changed to sliding to the right, and if we click on the plus icon, it appears from the right and looks really, really good on all the devices. And that's it for this tutorial. I hope you have a good understanding on how to create pop-ups and overlays yourself. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more product updates.